Hey replay viewers, thanks for checking me out here. Also check me out on YouTube, Penguin6, Instagram and Facebook, Penguin6. Pretty hot. Not a helicopter, just out for a walk. I didn't bring my drone. Thought about bringing my drone. Hey Flames, you should be going to bed. Very late for you. It's about 4 o'clock here. Yeah, 4:10 in Hong Kong. 4:10 a.m. on the east coast of the United States. 1:10 on the Pacific. Yeah, they could fit it. Well, they could just knock down some of these small ones and put in some more tall ones. Hey, Brenda. And then we could get more people living here. There's some shadows over there from the clouds. Hey, puppy. There's a doggy here. So I'm on a path with all these other people looking over the view. There's a helicopter. That's the tourist helicopter. Have we lost our signal? You know, I'm going to just do away with smart tone. Smart tone has just been really bad this last month. Really crappy. Let's go down to the next viewpoint. Maybe it'll be in the shade. Oh, 1 a.m. There you guys are. Sorry about that. A little bit of the Periscope delay. We got the view coming in just another minute. Not even that, another 20 seconds. We'll be back into the viewpoint over the city. You can start to see it coming through the trees. But I think I'm just about done with this phone provider. Now, I have had such problems since I got back from the USA that I think I'm going to switch carriers. It's just been so crappy. Every day I'm having it. In a fire, you just get a rope and you swing out to the other building, yeah? Tarzan style. Of course, there's nowhere else to live, too. Everybody lives in a tower, apartment building. Yeah, I don't know what's up with this. Ever since I got back, no, there's not a lot of helipads. In fact, the dick's pixelated and dark. That sucks. Looks pretty good to me. Ouch. What are you, little bug, trying to bite me? Freaking bug. So there's a concert down there, I think. I hear music. Wow, look at the clouds. Just no, it's my first hike. Spent the morning with the kids. We went to Shumshai Po, the toy markets of Hong Kong. You'll see that on my YouTube channel maybe later tonight. Hey Spike, how's it going? We went to buy some new toys. I bought a giant Lego set. My wife actually wanted it. Hong Kong is part of China. We have our own form of government that is subservient to the mainland, but we have some independence here that they don't have in mainland China. For example, residents in Hong Kong can have dual nationality, where in China they can only have one. Well, it was Jingwuman. If you know your Chinese history, there was a Lego Jingwuman. So we got a Lego Jingwu, and the kids are going to build it for her. She's going to put it in her house, in her office. Is Lego well priced? Well, these were fake Legos, so they were about 1/10 the price. Yeah, well, the Chinese president is our leader. The Chinese flag flies over our city. The Chinese army is garrisoned in Central. In fact, the Chinese Navy is stationed right over there. You don't know Wong Fei Hong? You miss Hong Kong and enjoying life this way, huh? Well, we get fake Legos here. They're exactly the same Legos as the field ones. They just have a different title on them, like Star Warts instead of Star Wars. Yeah, Wang Fei Hong actually practiced Kung Fu at a place called Jingwuman. Jingwuman, I believe, was in Shanghai, or Guangzhou, was actually a center of anti-Japanese resistance during the war. It was a Kung Fu school. The Legend of Jingwuman fills many a Hong Kong and Chinese Kung Fu movie. In fact, I recommend Fist of Legend with Jet Li. Probably one of the best Kung Fu films of the last 20 years, Fist of Legends. It is difficult for mainlanders to move here. Otherwise, they'd swamp the city and overrun the city and lead to even greater social strife than we currently have. They allow 50,000 people a week or something like that. I don't remember what it was. There are a lot of Chinese nationals are allowed to move here if they have some tie to the city, like a wife or a spouse or a kid or something like that, which is a source of much consternation amongst the locals. Star Wars, yeah. It's really hot out with the sun. I gotta get into the shade. Thankfully the shade is coming.
Yeah.
You can just...
It broke because it was Chinese made? I don't know. That's a broken Legos. It's not necessarily Chinese. My iPhone is Chinese made, you know. Half the parts in your car are Chinese made, you know. It's whether they're made cheaply. There are some things that are made for the Chinese market which are crap, and there are some things that are made for the Western market which frankly rival the production qualities of the West or whatever. It's just the cheap shit that they make is really crappy. Feminism out of control there. Yeah, right. Is street food safe? Some of it. You just got to have kind of a strong gut. Most of the street food is very safe. It's inspected and stuff, but you never know where it's coming from. Like if you I like going and get like a bunch of chicken kebabs or something like that, a bunch of skewers like chicken satay. Well, if the chicken's from mainland China, then it's whatever. Is it less crazy over there? Some days it is. My life is much simpler over here than it was in the United States, primarily because I don't have to drive. One day you want to be here, why don't you just come? I mean, round-trip airfare is less than $600. Seriously, I flew home this summer for $620 round trip to the U.S. But you can get to Hong Kong as cheap as $560. Spend a week or two over here and see if you like it. It's not that hard. I have rented a car. I do have a car now, so I don't rent them anymore. Though there's no real point in renting a car unless you are going somewhere really out the beaten track. You have to understand that there's 7.3 million people here. There's only 500,000 cars. So the city really isn't built for cars. There's not a lot of parking spaces, for example. So renting a car here is not quite the same as the U.S. There's just not really the same need. In fact, it's quite a bit cheaper to just like spend the weekend and just use taxis, which is what most people do. Just take a taxi wherever you want to go, or take a bus or subway. The city is highly set up for public transit. Parking is somewhat expensive. Gas is $8 a gallon though. $8 US a gallon. I don't think parking is that bad compared to New York. I mean, in New York you spend $10 for the first 5 minutes, you know. Here you spend a couple bucks, $3 maybe for the first hour. Living here as a middle-class Westerner is expensive, very expensive. Visiting here is no more expensive than visiting, say, Chicago. Gas is cheaper on mainland China, yes, but it's not as good quality. The gas is often high sulfur content gas from Iran, which has led to extreme pollution and some mechanical difficulties in some of the cars. When you have high sulfur petrol in your engine, you have a lot of dirt in your engine. That can lead to a lot of problems. Plus, driving in the mainland is a frickin' free-for-all. You'd be insane. You would be absolutely insane to drive in the mainland. In fact, most rental car agencies will give you a driver. You can rent a driver with your rental car in almost every rental car agency in China. And it's far, far a smarter idea than driving on your own. Driving on your own is just a one-way ticket to an accident. I mean, the stuff I've been in China in cars would make you just freak out. It's a little dog. There's crazy people over here. Crazy people everywhere. Hong Kong filmmakers taken to North Korea. No, I didn't see that. I actually checked yesterday. Usually we have North Korean vessels in our harbor, but yesterday there were no North Korean ships in the harbor. But I've seen the North Korean flag on vessels in the past. I'm sure there's some over in Macau. Let's go to one more viewpoint. I had dumplings for lunch. My kids and I went to a Beijing, or a Taiwanese dumpling house and had dumplings for lunch. For dinner, I'm not sure what we're going to make. I thought about making a pizza for tonight, but then I got lazy and I was like, I don't want to make the dough. It takes too long to make the pizza dough. Pot stickers are fried dumplings, basically. Dumplings can be boiled or fried. The ones I had today were boiled. You can also have steamed dumplings. I had cabbage and pork dumplings today. Super tree. Bunch of Russian girls.
One of them, I was like, are you going to go? And then
So we don't know what we're going to have for dinner tonight. Kids are at home building their Legos. The kids bought some Legos too today. I wanted to get the Saturn V Lego, but it was sold out, even the fake one. So the wife got Jingwu Man. We saw an Apple Store Lego. It was pretty insane. It's like 3 floors. All fake, of course. Still pretty cool. The Apple Store Lego. The government says there's about 1,000 homeless people, or 700. The private sector laughs and says that number is easily 2,000 homeless people. That's in a city of 7.3 million. However, we have a number of people living in substandard houses, shanties and whatnot, and old apartments. But by and large, there's not a lot of homeless on the street. It's very rare. I mean, it's not rare, but you don't see them very often. Certainly not where I live. We have a very low crime rate too. One of the lowest crime rates in the world. Many Americans who come here are just kind of like I'll take the expense, but my kids are going to grow up totally safe. Okay. So we're following these Aussies. So there's an abandoned house over here. It's known as the Ghost Mansion. During World War II, the Japanese troops occupied this house and killed and pillaged a number of Catholic nuns nearby. So it's said their ghosts haunt this house. House is condemned now. Nobody lives here. But it's a pretty cool house still. But what the hell is that? Oh, it's a dog. That was a pig. Sometimes there's wild pigs up here. Down there is Kennedy Town. That's one of the western ends of the city. Ribs. Maybe we should have ribs for dinner tonight. There's a good rib place in Kennedy Town. American style ribs. Or good French fries. Ooh, that would be an interesting choice. I could posit that to the wife. Bamboo Forest of Doom is coming up. I was half debating turning around, but I think we'll just push on through. It's very crowded today. It's Sunday. It's a beautiful day. A lot of people are out hiking. Those who are used to my morning hikes, I'm usually alone. I'm basically alone. Today, I'm never alone. You could ride a bike on this path, but it's very, very dangerous. There's a lot of blind curves. There's a lot of pedestrians. Frankly, most people I know who ride bikes prefer not to ride here. It's just not worth it. It's no fun. You have your foot on the brake basically the whole time, or your hand on the brake. All right, guys, we're going into the bamboo forest. Now, I just got to get through this without my signal degrading too much. I will keep broadcasting, and when we come out the other side, I'll still be on. Though on your end, you might get some stuttering. But this will only last about a half a minute, 20 seconds or so. And then we should come back on the other side. Hopefully. Unless we get kicked off the network. Then we drop to 3G. There are lots of, well, the biggest sport here is trail running. This has world caliber, world-class trail running trails for running. Some are open to mountain biking, but biking isn't as popular as trail hiking and running. There are paths in Hong Kong that extend for 50, 60 miles. Yeah, miles, and go up and down several mountain ranges. So hiking and trail running is more popular than mountain biking here. So we're pushing through. We're almost through this bamboo forest. I hope you guys' signal hasn't wiped you out yet, but it does happen. We will be out of it shortly, and then we'll have a good solid signal pretty much the rest of the way back to the mountain top. This is actually a road. This is called Lugard Road, L-U-G-A-R-D Road. You can look it up on Google. And there's an old British military position up here, an old artillery battery. Oh, that's cool. Now yesterday I took the kids for a hike, and we went up that. That's the Treacherous Trail, also known as High West Mountain. Very pixelated. Yeah, it'll get better as we come out of this. So I took the kids hiking up the ridge of that mountain yesterday. They were grumpy as hell. Very grumpy. But it was a good exercise. It's about 200 steps up. This old man sells Chinese desserts and water. Yeah, we're in the little dead zone. It's going to clear up a bit. Filipinos on their day off. Today's all the nanny's day off. There's a biker. We should hit another tower around this corner. and the signal should improve. We're going to get a view of the south side of the island in a minute. That's Mount Kellett over there. That's where the British hospital is located, called Matilda Hospital, Matilda Memorial Hospital. And that's the hospital on the peak where many of the foreigners go. That's kind of our local hospital. It's kind of neat up there. It's like an old, well, it's a colonial era hospital. You walk the hallways and it looks like, hey, anyhow, it looks like you're in like this World War II film, basically. It was bombed by the Japanese during World War II, despite being a hospital. So now we're on Harlech Road, Harlech. And frequently we see, not frequently, but once a week we see cars on this road. We're on Victoria's Peak in the center of Hong Kong Island. This is the tallest mountain on Hong Kong Island in the People's Republic of China. I'm Penguin 6. I've lived here 7 years. This is my home. I have scoped one time the hospital. I was there for my annual physical, and I scoped the hotel, my room for the physical, and you guys started crying because it was like a hotel suite, and they brought us breakfast, a private breakfast after we did some testing, and then had like a couch, a TV, and a bed, and that was our hospital room for the day, getting our annual physical. No, I'm not Russian. I used to work in Russia. I used to work in Moscow, 15 years ago. It's been a while. The video does get blurry. You might just have to log out, come back in. Coming up to a waterfall in about 4 or 5 minutes. How many meters do we have left? 800 meters left. Yeah, well, actually they don't say my English is good because I speak American, which is regarded as simplified English. But, you know, being born in the United States and living in the United States 40-odd years helps with the English. I'm speaking okay. I'm trying not to disturb other people by talking to myself and having them think I'm weird. I love this tree, by the way. Oh. American? Okay, so am I. But I live here in Hong Kong. I'm a permanent resident of Hong Kong, which means I basically have my green card. I can come and go as I wish. American theme park. Which one? Disneyland? Or Ocean Park. There's a couple of theme parks. We also went to the county fair here. That's the Christmas market. Kids love that. The Winter Carnival, I think they call it. This winter we're going to stay in Hong Kong, but we might go to Japan for a week to go skiing. North Dakota theme. Oh, well, I was in I was in South Dakota this summer. This summer I was in America at Wall Drugs. So maybe that's what you're seeing. 600 meters. No, it's at Wall Drug. If you've ever been to Wall Drug, it is kind of like at a theme park of American kitsch. Wall Drug in Wall, South Dakota is pretty legendary for those who are from the Great Plains. Actually, I was going to put a Wall Drug bumper sticker on my car here in Hong Kong. I thought that would be hilarious. Remember the Wall Drug visit? I actually have a Wall Drug bumper sticker I brought back, and I'm thinking of putting it on my car here in Hong Kong. Sort of an inside joke for all the Americans. The Badlands were amazing, weren't they? You can go to my YouTube channel, Penguin 6. I have a lot of videos of the Badlands on my YouTube channel. Walgreens, no, Wall Drug. Wall Drug is a town of about 800 people, about an hour away from Mount Rushmore. And 70 odd years ago, the owner was having, oh, look at the little cars coming. The owner was having a hard time attracting customers. So the owner put up a sign out on the road saying free ice water at Wall Drug. And people would pull over and go to Wall Drug for a free glass of ice water, and then they'd often buy a knick-knack or this or that. So they started putting up more signs. Only 50 miles to Wall Drug, free ice water. Only 80 miles, only 262 miles. And then World War II started, and guys started taking up the idea all over the world. So now there are photographs of guys in Europe and the Pacific, fighting men from Nebraska, North Dakota, etc., with signs, only 6,287 miles to Wall Drug and stuff like that. And there's signs like that in Italy, all over the European theater of operations and the Pacific theater. So it became sort of a tourist attraction. Today, Wall Drug attracts about 2 million visitors a year. It takes up 2 full city blocks in this town of 800 people, and they still give out free ice water. It's sort of like a cowboy superstore with giant jackalopes. It also has an 80-foot dinosaur with glow-in-the-dark eyes on the side of the freeway. It was the wife's idea to do the signs. At one time, he was spending almost $250,000 US on advertising. But if you're ever at Mount Rushmore, you gotta go to Wall Drug. It's just part of America. The dinosaur is cool. It's in my YouTube videos. I actually flew my drone around the dinosaur, which was kind of fun. I really had a good trip. I drove from San Francisco to Washington, D.C. and many places in between over the summer with my family. That was a 5,800-mile journey of amazing memories. Yeah, YouTube channel Penguin 6. You can start on day 1, day 0 even, and make your way through the entire trip. I think we had 20 days to cross the country, and you can watch some of the highlights of our trip as we drove from one end of the U.S. to the other. Had some amazing steak in Montana. There's the waterfall I promised you.
Okay.
Yeah, we couldn't do many live broadcasts in America because the bandwidth quality in the United States is, well, pathetic. I mean, compared to Hong Kong. We are spoiled in Hong Kong for bandwidth and speed. regularly get 40 megabits on my LTEs. In the US, I was having a hard time getting 4. Of course, Hong Kong is very small. There's a lot of natural places to put towers on the top of buildings, for example. So it's easy to layer the entire city in antennas. Yeah, this video is a little choppy because I think I got kicked to a lower thing. I'm actually going to do away with this carrier and switch to a higher grade carrier. This used to be acceptable, this carrier, but when I came back from the USA, I'm not sure what happened, but my videos since I came back have had lots of breakouts. You know, we've had a good signal and then it goes to crap. Good signal goes to crap. So I'm thinking probably next month we're going to switch. Ooh, doggy poop. Almost back. Yeah. Oh, in the United States here, I mean, I never got more than basically 2 bars unless I was in a city. Because you're always 5 or 10 miles. Here in Hong Kong, you're at 1 mile. I mean, in fact, I can see cell towers right here on the tops of buildings, you know, in every direction almost. So what time is it? It's 4:30. I'll be home soon. I'll go figure out what we're going to do for dinner, though. No idea. I don't think I had noodles all week. So this is the peak. This is where all the tourists are. They're lining up to ride the tram because they're too lazy to walk. 3:40 in San Antonio. This is 4:40 on the East Coast. 4:40. All right, this is silly. I'm just going to jump over these chains. Everybody out of my way. So these are some horrendous lines to go down the tram. If they wanted, they could walk and get there faster. "30 minutes. Good Lord. It's kind of hot, sunny. It's, I mean, only 27, 28 Celsius, which is like 80, but it's very sunny. There's a very light breeze. It's not that cool. It's much hotter down in the city. It's like 32 in the city. That's like in the 90s down there. It's the people down in the city, their life sucks. I was down in the city earlier, the toy markets. We took the kids to the toy markets to buy lots of toys. Oh, the bots are back. Well, it's very easy to get away from people here in Hong Kong. So it's very easy to be surrounded by them, and it's very easy to get away from them. 75% of Hong Kong is jungle, undeveloped mountain areas. So, I mean, you can go up in these mountains and be by yourself with the pigs and all the other animals. Or you can live down in the city core and be surrounded by tens of thousands of people. That's a nice thing about here. It's very easy to get away from it all. Beaches are only about 10 minutes from Hong Kong Central, 15 minutes. There are outer islands that are very rural. You can only get to by boat. It is a gorgeous place. It's just very expensive. I almost brought the drone out today. I really should have brought the drone. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll go home and get the drone and then come back out for another scope. at sunset. Depends what the kids want to do. Personally, I want to go to the pool. In Boston. My niece was in Boston for a few years. Oh, that lady's stuck. She just graduated about a year ago, and I think she moved to New York. So I live right here. I live in this tower right here, which is kind of like the closest you can get. And you're looking at my backyard. We're gonna now walk down through the jungle to my house. Oh, people. Very 8-bit. Yeah, it comes and goes. It's strange because I have an incredibly good signal at the moment. Very strong signal. Not sure what's up. I've had a lot of problems lately. Oh, here comes the tram. Let's see if we can give you the tram. There it goes. I'm going to climb on the roof, I think. Guys love to do this. You made it. So I lived in Washington. I lived in the Washington D.C. area. I grew up in Illinois. We came here from Maryland, which is just next to D.C., of course, where we have a house. We still have a house in Maryland, actually. That's where I spent part of the summer. So that's my house right there, this little one. It's only 38 stories. It's dwarfed by the neighbors, which are 50 and 70 stories. So ours is a tiny building. Sunday. I really kind of feel like pizza tonight, but I just don't want to make the dough, and I don't really want to order one, but I'm going to have to find something to eat. Sunday, the nanny has the day off, and as a result, we have to cook for ourselves, which means we go out to dinner. This road is called Barker Road, B-A-R-K-E-R Road. And this is actually a pretty wide road, can fit 2 cars at once. There are houses here and apartment buildings. Living in that building is about $10,000 to $12,000 US dollars a month. We've had Asian food for lunch, dinner, and lunch. So honestly, it might be a Western food meal tonight. We might switch to a Western food tonight. The question is, what do we eat? Because we had hamburgers Friday lunchtime, but we had sushi for lunch yesterday. We had Chinese food for dinner. We had dumplings for lunch today. So I don't really think we can go to hamburgers because we already had that, and I don't know about pizza. I'm kind of thinking of making homemade pizza tomorrow. I just have to work on the dough. I bought some yeast today, some French yeast. I've had a hard time getting good yeast. My dough doesn't rise very much. I got a recipe for making Hawaiian bread, like King's Hawaiian bread. Bring fortune cookies. Fortune cookies are not really Chinese. Most people here in China would kind of look at you like, what the hell's that? It's an American creation. It's caught on a little bit. Some places have started to do it, mostly like the American Chinese restaurants. But by and large, people here have no idea what a fortune cookie is. They are very superstitious along the coast, especially the southern coast of China. They're very superstitious. I think they would take seriously the wisdom of a fortune cookie. So the guy here bought this land for $42 million US, 42 million US, and he's building some houses up there. Orange chicken is not popular here. You can get it, but it's not very popular. Orange shrimp, a little bit. You have to understand, most dishes that you eat in America are not really Chinese. They're Chinese-American dishes. Very few of them are on the menu here. Which is why you don't always see a lot of Chinese people in Panda Cafe or whatever. Or P.F. Chang's. I don't think I've ever seen a Chinese person in P.F. Chang's. What's the blue thing? What? Oh, the sky? Or this green? This is, so it's scaffolding, and then the green stuff on the side is just a net to stop things from falling, like tools or anything like that. It's not really a retaining wall, it's just a net. More like sayings. Fortune cookies do lottery numbers, though. No, he's building a couple standalone homes that'll probably go for, we don't really call them condos here. They'll go for probably 30 to 40 million US each. So we're coming up on the fourth most expensive house in Hong Kong. The fourth most expensive house is owned by Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba.com. He's the second richest man in China, and he spent 193 million US dollars, 193 million American dollars, to buy this house just around the corner, which is only 10,000 square feet. But even at 193 million American dollars, that is only the fourth most expensive property in the city. The average family in my son's international school spends about 11,500 US in rent, 11,500 per month in rent for about 1,600 to 2,000 square feet. Bit insane, yeah. So I use these are my umbrella trees when I get caught out in the rain. So this is Jack Ma's house. He's renovating it right now, 22 Barker Road. This was the $193 million house. His yard's gone to shit. He hasn't been taking care of it. What a beautiful day. So guys, I'm going to sign off. I got to talk to my wife and plan dinner. Appreciate y'all watching. Hope you enjoyed. You can always follow me. I'm out here pretty much every day. This is my morning walk. Hope you guys have a good night.